Hi folks, hope you're okay today. It's good to be with you. I just want to talk briefly about some good preachers that you might find a blessing. And I'm going to name some preachers that have blessed me all over the years, and I just hope that you go and listen to these preachers and that you'll be blessed. First of all, a couple of platforms that are really helpful. Sermon Index. Sermon Index is a really good resource. Lots of old classical preachers and good preachers today. Sermon Index is an excellent place to go and listen to sermons. The next place is Sermon Audio. Tons of good material on Sermon Audio. I'm listening to a series at the moment on the Westminster Confession of Faith. I'm listening to E. Young on the Book of Daniel, who's an old scholar, and Cornelius Van Til, some of his lectures. So Sermon Audio is a really good place. So I'm going to mention a couple of individual preachers that have blessed me, and I hope that they bless you. First of all, Dr. Martin Lloyd-Jones. If you go to Dr. Martin Lloyd-Jones Recording Trust, he's a great preacher. He died in the early 1980s. Powerful preacher. Did expository preaching through Romans and Ephesians. He's a wonderful preacher, and I would encourage you to go and listen to his sermons. You've not lived if you've not studied and listened to Dr. Martin Lloyd-Jones. God prevails in his work and preaching. Another preacher is a very powerful preacher, not for the faint-hearted, and his name is Al Martin. Al Martin, at Trinity Baptist Church. He's retired now, but Google Al Martin. He's Reformed Baptist. Powerful preacher. Go and listen to some of the old Banner Truth Conference lectures that he gave, if you can find them. But powerful preacher. Stuart Olliott at Belvedere Baptist Church is retired from there now. But if you go onto the website Know Your Bible, Stuart Olliott and Alan McNabb shares that platform. Some excellent preaching, excellent Bible teaching there. Would recommend Stuart Olliott on the platform Know Your Bible, and Alan McNabb. The next preacher that I would recommend, there's so many good preachers. Some of the younger preachers, David Platt, he's retired from being a pastor. He's a young man, but he's working for a mission organisation. But David Platt, especially talking about radical discipleship, really excellent preacher. Matt Chandler, young preacher, Reformed preacher, excellent, really good. Some of the old stalwarts, R.C. Sproul of Legion of Ministries, John Piper of Desiring God Ministries, and John MacArthur of Grace to You. Those are excellent preachers that I always go back to from time to time. Paul Washer, when it comes to discipleship and the gospel, is excellent. Alistair Begg. Alistair Begg is an excellent preacher, wonderful preacher. Recommend Alistair Begg. Could listen to him all day. Other preachers, some Presbyterian preachers that I like, Sinclair Ferguson, excellent preacher. And there's so many more that I could go into, but Sinclair Ferguson, Ian Murray, I'm trying to think of other Presbyterian Reformed preachers. Joel Beakey is another excellent preacher. So Joel Beakey, Sinclair Ferguson, and there's a Presbyterian minister called Dr. Thomas, who I think lectures at Reformed Theological Seminary, or maybe Westminster Seminary. Excellent preacher. So those are just some of the preachers that I like. Dr. Martin Lloyd-Jones, Sermon Index I go to, Sermon Audio I go to. My favourite preacher of all time is Dr. Martin Lloyd-Jones. He's the one that's influenced me most in my life. Classical ones like R.C. Sproul, John MacArthur, John Piper, the strong in different ways. Presbyterians like Sinclair Ferguson, R.C. Sproul, Joel Beakey, excellent preachers. Reformed Baptist, Al Martin, Jeff Thomas, and Stuart Ollier, Alan McNabb. Some of the younger guys, Matt Chandler and David Platt, are just some of my favourite preachers. I've got many more favourite preachers. In fact, I'll just go here if we can find. So Alistair Begg, very gracious man, very godly man. I'm just going to Legionnaire Ministries website. YouTube channel, sorry. So yeah, Alistair Begg, very gracious man, lovely, gracious man. Oh, it's good to go on to Legionnaire Ministries YouTube channel. Some good stuff being uploaded on R.C. Sproul. W. Robert Godfrey is on Legionnaire Ministries. He's an excellent preacher that I like. Derek Thomas, wonderful preacher, love the guy, Presbyterian guy, excellent guy. Derek Thomas. Al Muller is another good preacher. And I could go on all day, but I've given you, and you can